record on this. We're very official now.
Leave meeting.
Get out! Get out! Ay. After all that.
Ready yet? Get set. It's all that.
Now my next question is, how do I make it so that instead of just showing the person that's talking, it shows gallery, found it.
Gallery. It was happening to me too.
Okay. Now that I'm sitting here with stupid can headphones on my head, as Dennis called them, because that's what he likes. Can, like CAN.
I like them.
It's
very official.
Yeah, it's Dennis game, or he used to, not that he does anymore. He games with his friends. So he's got the dildo of a microphone. So
you're ready to roll.
Almost so like
we used to have those because Jude and I were going to do a podcast during the pandemic because we were at that point.
Well, he's making bread now, so he caught up.
He bought all the stuff to do it, and we half recorded it, but we recorded one episode, then we just never went back to it. So we returned.
Really?
We returned everything. So I was like, I don't have them anymore. I did.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm hoping that when it records, so like I formatted my screen so that I can see us like in a vertical orientation. Hoping it records it in a vertical orientation because then I can clip it for Instagram. Because you know, it's gonna be that we're gonna be that interesting.
You're saying I should get cool hats, right?
Cool hats?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Should I go get my hat?
Oh, do I need to grab a hat too? I don't have any particularly cool ones in this room.
I mean, it's too warm to be wearing it, but
I have the best hat for this. Should I go get it? I'm going to get it.
This is actually a hat podcast.
Yeah. Put them ears away.
I'm trying to think what the weirdest hat I have in my house is. I have a cat bed behind me. I could wear that.
You make it covered in cat hair.
That's true. I vacuumed one of the cat towers before and I got a fourth cat out of it. I also think that because I'm wearing the headphones, I don't have a hat that will fit over. I have my bike helmet.
No. Yeah, this is on because this is oh, I don't know if I showed you this. It's blurry. You can't see it.
See, this is what you get for not sharing your background.
Don't.
I'm ready to roll.
So we got the whole anime shelf set up. I know my stitches because
they gotta be somewhere.
They're there. But this is on top of my anime shelf.
Oh man. It almost looks like the turtle shell from Mario.
It's a good hat.
So who wants to go first and do their little introduction?
You.
Okay. It's almost like I suggested this or something.
Yeah.
Wait, serious question before I start, because I can clip this out at this point. I just farted. Could you hear it?
I didn't hear it. Didn't hear it.
And I feel like that would have been amazing.
Disclaimer, it's been a gassy week for me, so I won't tell you when I do it.
They don't
You'll just if you're going over recordings, you might hear it, but I won't tell you what it's like videos like mask your farts with a noise like
you're suddenly
I'm gonna cry. Oh man. Okay.
This is very serious, guys.
No.
At the very least, we're having fun. That's all you can really ask for at these things.
Yeah. Like when the podcast finally leaves the group chat.
What was I don't even remember what was the.
You have to say your name.
No, I know that, but we talked about names for the podcast.
Oh,
had like
DNS.
7.
Didn't we say DNS?
Okay. Yes, okay. So DNS runners, which is the definitely not stressed.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's happened. The podcast has left the group chat. Welcome to the first episode of the DNS runners. Definitely not stressed. The secret is that we're all very stressed. That's pretty much the only reason we're friends. I don't like either of these people. I'm Kelly, and we got, I don't know if the orientation is gonna be the same for everybody, but I'm gonna say Mike up there and
Yep.
Katie down there.
You're over there.
I'm up here to
You're over there, and Katie's down there.
A modern family Brady Bunch. So I'm Kelly. You can find me on Instagram at GoKellyEllie. I started running in 2015, which is almost a decade ago, and I don't know how that happened. When I was in grad school, one of my cousins asked me if I wanted to go for a run, and I said yes, and then I kept running. I've known Mike since we were in elementary school. We met when our little brothers played baseball together. And I met Katie a few years ago. I think it was around 2020, right? 2019, 2020. Because we ran with the same endurance group. And now they're both stuck with me forever. I'm gonna throw it up to Mike and he can do a little intro of his own.
Oh, okay. I'm Mike. You can find me on Instagram at Mike Papas Fritas with underscores in between those 3 words. I started running, if Kelly started 2015, then mine was the year after because I started running. Truthfully, I started running very facetiously because I saw Kelly had won a medal from running and I wanted to earn a medal. And I wish I was joking, but that's the reason why I started running. I wanted to get a medal. And here I am marathons later.
When I finished my 3rd marathon, I got a text from Mike that said, "But did you really run the whole thing or did you have to take walk breaks?"
I wanted it, but I wasn't convinced I could do it. So I'm like, am I allowed to walk during these?
To this day, that is the only marathon I've ever run without a walk break. The one time I answered, and I could say yes.
Yeah, I think Kelly covered how we all met. So I met Katie through Kelly. Roughly after they first met, we met. So.
Yes.
Mike is what I refer to as my crossover friend because I demand he be friends with all of my friends. And
that's how I make friends.
Katie, you're up.
I'm Katie. You can find me on Instagram at KatieBell31 with an underscore between my first and last. I started running in 2017. I became friends with Kelly right before the pandemic. I remember we met for the first time at a local running path, and we were just both randomly running like 12 miles for no reason. And I met Mike shortly after when he showed up for a run in the dead of July. It was like 80 degrees with 95% humidity, and he was in pants, a long sleeve shirt, and a sweatshirt.
Disclaimer, I did put the sweatshirt back in the car.
Human being I've
I did
ever
put the
met.
sweatshirt back in the car. Disclaimer. I did start with it though.
I remember just thinking, this is the most bizarre thing I've seen in a really long time. I was dying of heat stroke.
Mike
and he was hanging out in a sweatshirt.
He's a really big climate change denier.
Global warming who?
What are you talking about? It's freezing in here.
Meanwhile, this week in New York has been 80 degrees every day. I'm dying.
It's so hot this week. I know. I don't know why, but I'm shocked every year.
What? Summer? Warm weather?
Memorial Day weekend already?
I'm shocked every year when it's hot out, and I always forget that the heat puts me in a really bad mood very quickly.
So the question is, do we all fall into the category of a runner who would rather run in the dead of winter when it's freezing over a give me hot, humid summer? Because I'm a dead of winter runner.
Dead of winter. Give me like the coldest day ever.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Give me a run where I can. I was like, give me a run where I can wear all the layers.
Seriously. And then it just so happens that the 3 of us always decide to train for a marathon when you have to run in the hottest months to train for it. It makes
We're
no
doing
sense.
fall races. We keep doing fall marathons. What's wrong with us?
Because the spring marathons are like, you need like a Boston
Harder to
qualifier
get
to get into
into.
one of those ones.
All the spring ones are the hard ones to get into.
We can't get into those. So we take on what we can.
So the three of us, as we said at the beginning of the episode, we have a group chat that pretty much is never ending. One of those ones that transfers from Instagram to the text, and it's two different threads at any given time. But we all decided that this fall we're going to run the Chicago Marathon.
Yes.
And I said to Katie and Mike, listen, I need accountability for this one. I have not been good with accountability this year. Make me publicly proclaim my intentions by shaming me via a brand new podcast with my best friends.
Okay, but I'd like to just step in for just a second here and just make everyone aware that it isn't that Kelly isn't good with being like committed to what she needs to do. Kelly has a baby, which
Under
makes
a
it
year.
which makes it a
Under a
little
year.
difficult. Yes, like a literal, the baby just came out, okay?
He's 9 months old.
It makes it very difficult to stay committed when you're tired, when you're breastfeeding. Like, I think it's pretty great of you that you've even committed to a marathon at all this year.
Mhm.
So don't sell yourself so short, please.
Okay, how old was Carolina when you ran New York City in 2022? 21? What year was that? 21.
She was 9 months old.
Okay, so at this point you've been trained for and ran a marathon.
So that means
I
you
did.
like would you do
I-
have her and then start training?
I
Is what I'm
ran home
getting at?
from the hospital.
That was the only summer that I could keep up with Katie.
Stop it, please. But yes, the
But
second
yeah.
the doctor said that I had clearance, I started training for the marathon. I was 5 months postpartum. It was the craziest training experience I think I've ever had, only because I had a daughter who legitimately did not sleep. So I trained for the marathon on like 2 to 3 hours roughly of sporadic sleep every 24 hours.
Oh my gosh.
It was cool. And then I just decided to do it, go right into doing an ultra. So
Very casual.
Can't stop, won't stop.
yeah. So that was a
Oh,
little crazy,
man.
but you definitely can do it, Kelly. I'm loving that we're doing this because it's going to make it more fun too. I think we've all ran enough at this point that we need to make it a little exciting.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Our marathon count is higher and higher, but it's a different experience every time.
Yeah. And I'm excited because it's my first one that I'm actually leaving New York for.
Have you done a
Mhm.
marathon other than New York?
I've never ran a marathon besides New York, and I haven't traveled off the East Coast in almost 20 years. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Big moves.
it is big moves. I'm traveling alone without my family, so I'm already sweating thinking about that, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. And Mike,
Mhm.
what star number is this for you?
This is gonna be number 3.
3.
This would be
That's-
you're at 2, right?
Yeah, and I've already done Chicago.
You've done
so
Chicago.
This will
I
be
was
my
like, wait,
second time
will
running
this be your third too?
Chicago.
But you already done Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Are you guys going to try for the stars?
I would like
That's
to.
my plan.
Yeah.
That's why I've been
That's-
getting my tattoos.
I know, but will you keep going even if you get like all 6 and then they're like, wait a minute, here's the 7th?
I mean, there's already talks that they might add the LA Marathon as the 7th. It's
No,
being, like,
Australia is the
evaluated.
one they're looking at Australia for number 7.
I
Oh.
heard
It was Sydney.
Australia too.
Oh,
Sydney.
okay. My information could be wrong.
Yeah, it was
Well,
Sydney they were
I
looking
heard
at.
it was LA, Australia, and one other place.
Okay.
I only want 6. So I'll run other marathons, but like the big one, I want to do the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like I've done a non world marathon, so it's not like I'm not an elitist over here.
I mean, Disney World, is it really a non-world marathon?
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's
We
like
did
a big
run all over the
marathon.
world there, you're right.
No star, but
How many times did we go
you
through
get to-
Epcot that weekend?
all right, you get to finish with a margarita. And what other marathon do you have
Almost
that
drank.
experience
I
at?
was so thirsty, I almost drank before we finished. Like, no, you need to save it for the photo. I had if you see that picture, it's like half chugged. My
It's more
frozen
than
margarita
half
is
chug.
half gone.
Mike was like, so my husband Dennis stood in the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot at the end of the Disney Marathon, and that's probably like at mile 26 approximately.
Mhm.
And when we sent Dennis there, we did not know that it's a thing for the Disney Marathon that people will just go there and buy margaritas and hand them to strangers. Like they
Oh.
literally will just like pass out margaritas, and these margaritas are like $12 to $17 a margarita. So I
Oh my
don't know like where people are getting this money from, but they are very generous on marathon morning. So Dennis is standing there with like a margarita for me and a margarita for Mike, fighting for his life to keep them both because people keep running by and just trying to take them, thinking that he's just like, have some margaritas. And that marathon was hot. They actually wound up cutting the course.
Oh yeah, I
Oh yeah, I
remember you
forgot.
telling me
Yeah.
that.
I
So
was getting like text updates from Kim, and she was like, "Where are you guys? They're closing this area. Where are you guys? They're closing this area."
yeah.
It
So
was like as we were
luckily,
running, the race was closing behind us. It's like, let's
yeah,
beat the closings.
basically, yeah, because we were
Because
both
they
coming
cut
off
the course.
injuries
They cut
that
like
time.
4 or 5 miles off the course.
Wow.
Yeah, luckily we got our full 26.2, but it was very hot and getting the cold frozen margarita in the 0.2 miles. I don't know how Mike did not get an instant brain freeze, but he did chug
That's
like
tongue on your
3/4
roof
of
of
that
your mouth.
margarita. I
You
literally was
put
like,
tongue on your roof of your mouth, and it gets rid of the brain freeze. But I'm like,
it's like, Mike, if you finish that before the finish line, we're gonna have issues.
Well, I think it's important for the listeners that'll end up being us three just listening to this over and over again to also share that we're all bonded by the trauma of the 2022 New York City Marathon.
I
Oh my
can't run without
goodness.
having like an emergency water cup or a hydro pack.
Yeah, Mike and I were in a late enough corral for that one that we were among the runners that they ran out of
drinking from
water
our
cups.
hands.
Oh my God.
This
What?
is, we're still in like a COVID era at the end of 2022. It wasn't,
Yeah.
the world wasn't totally back to normal at that point. And there's
No.
literally, I'm running a marathon. I don't have hand sanitizer. They're like, cup your hands, we'll pour you water, or you can drink
Like,
from
my
this
hands are
communal
gross.
bottle.
They're disgusting. I don't want to drink out of this, but I'm dying. So
Yeah.
do it again.
So
Can
gross.
I have some
I
My
just
workaround for
remember
that,
thinking, like,
my work,
how
my
could you
workaround was to
stop?
steal one of the box waters, and just run with a liter of box water crooked in my elbow.
I'll just never forget Mike telling me that he took one of the big waters and Darren calling me and being like, I just fucking stole the water from behind the table.
Oh, I forgot Darren ran that one too.
Yeah, that was the morning Darren also abandoned all of his water before we even started.
Oh my gosh,
Yep.
he caused me so much stress.
He's like, I don't think I want to wear this.
I was like, I think I was already running.
You were,
Or
yeah.
I was in the corral and I got a text
We were like
Kelly, and it was
waiting to get
like,
onto the bridge, and
Mike
he's
and
like,
I
I
are
don't want to wear this
freaking
anymore.
out.
Just tossed it.
Yeah. And that was also when I was like, Darren, you got to bring, like, it's going to be really hot. Like, make sure you bring like more than one salt
Yeah.
because like you always bring more than one in case one falls. And he's like,
And-
no, I only need one.
Of course, he dropped it.
He dropped it.
Yeah.
And then at
Like he
mile
dropped
8,
it like 5 miles in.
yes.
He was early
And
on. He
then was
dropped it.
calling me and being like, hey, do you know where I can get salt? I'm like, during the marathon?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because I wound up catching Darren right when we got to Central Park the first time, and I run with extra salt. And when he was like, I dropped my salt, I was like, can I give you salt? And he would not take it. I was like, it's not used. It's brand new. Please. No, I'm good. I don't need yours. I really have two.
What a disaster of a day that was.
Oh, that's an understatement.
It really is.
Disaster was an understatement. I was
That was
just
really,
surprised.
I still like think about it. Like, I know that sounds very like I should be in therapy, but like every now and then I think about it. And I'm like, oh my God, that was the worst day. That was the worst day. I literally hated that marathon so much that I took my shoes off and left them there.
Thought about that right in the trash.
Brand new Vaporflies. Like they weren't even cheap shoes.
It's just the trauma of owning it.
It was so crazy.
I hope somebody found those shoes and was like, this is the best day ever.
Me too. Me too. I mean, they legitimately had like 36 miles on them.
What was it? Like right off. Ever since then, I've been that collapsible water cup we got in Big Sur.
Oh,
Like,
those.
it's in my pocket for every race I do now because I'm like, what if they run out?
Yeah, that's really smart.
I did that once, and Jude's like, you're going to a 5K. I'm like, but what if they run out of water?
I feel like eventually they're going to move all these marathons to have it's going to be mandatory to carry a collapsible.
I mean, even in terms of cleanup, that's going to make it so much easier.
Yeah.
Have you
That's
seen
what
like
I'm saying.
the
It's
PVC?
crazy.
They do like a PVC pipe setup where they put faucets on it, so it's like a quick fill as you run by. Like
Yeah.
realistically, that's not bad. I mean,
No.
it's a little bit unsanitary if everybody has to touch it. So maybe like a volunteer activated, where it'd be like a foot pedal connection.
Yeah.
You know, you could do a valve with a foot pedal.
Yeah, that's true. But
The engineer comes out.
yeah. Yeah. So, and you guys are not doing New York this year, right? You
I'm
guys are.
not registered for New York. Yeah, I
I
have
did
FOMO
not-
already.
I did
but-
not accept my deferral from last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a pregnancy deferral. So my deferral was good for 24, 25, or 26. So I opted to skip it this year since I have Chicago, and I'm not, I have to see how Chicago training goes is what it comes down to. I don't know that I'm ready to like roll right into another one.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes so much sense, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was crazy when I did my marathon, but I don't think I would have done two.
Yeah, I've done the crazy roll. What year was that? I think it's 2021. I did Chicago, and I was mad when I finished Chicago. It was humid that day. We're just gonna complain about the weather this whole time. This is actually I Hate the Weather, the podcast.
Yeah.
It was humid that day, and when you go over the bridges in Chicago, they're like graded bridges because they're driving roads, and they put down carpets on top of them. And
Yes.
while I was running, I had like the carpet had kind of like rolled up on itself a little bit, and I caught my foot on it, and I tweaked my hip to the point where by the time I got to the finish line, I had to lay down in
Oh
in
my
Grant
God.
Park after for like 25 minutes with ice because I could not move anymore. Like Dennis had to support half of my weight walking back to the hotel
my
because I could not
God.
put weight on my hip. I was like very annoyed, and I did not hit my goal for that day. I mean, I finished the race, but it wasn't what I wanted.
Right.
Apparently
I remember that race.
I knock things off the wall. We're good. I have they give you the little beer can at the finish,
Yes.
and I peeled off the label. I apparently finished in 5:05, which was not what I
Damn.
wanted that day, but
I would love a
I remember that though.
it was not what I was trained for though. It was what was frustrating about it, you know?
Oh yeah, I did that for 4 years in New York. Always left with a little bit of disappointment, you know?
Yeah, but I went back to my hotel room and I immediately signed up for the Dopey Challenge.
Oh, God.
Because I wanted another marathon, because that was the year that excuse me. I was signed up to run New York with Sophie, so I had committed to hold on, I'm gonna cough now.
That was the year you ran with Sophie. That was the year that I had tape.
Yes, yes, exactly. So I had committed to run it with Sophie and stay with her as we ran it. So I wanted something that I could try to hit the time I wanted to run. So instead of, just signing up for a marathon, I completely signed up for the Dopey Challenge.
Makes total sense somehow.
I think it was that I think Mike and Jude and I were already signed up for the half. So I was kind of like, well, I'm gonna run the full. I might as well just upgrade to Dopey.
Oh my God.
And she did.
The marathon might have been sold out at the time, in my defense. It might have been like Dopey or nothing.
That's why you did Dopies, because you wanted the marathon.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go with that.
That's like crazy. Even I think that's crazy.
I'm still tired from when we did it in 2020.
Oh man. I think 2020 as a year was so terrible because we had so much fun in the first week of 2020. That was the first time Mike and I did Dopey together.
We did a really high note, and then it was like
I remember that the world ended like so shortly after.
Yep.
Not the world ended, but you know what I mean. My dramatic side is coming out.
No, it doesn't.
But even like I remember running New York City and being like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Like in 2019, I was like, this is so much fun. And I was like, you know what? I had my 9+1 ready. I was good to go for 2020. I was like, oh my God, now I can like set a goal. I was so stoked. And then there was nothing. There was just, miles for no reason.
And like, not to bring up the weather again, but 2019's marathon weather was like
the most perfect day ever.
I didn't sweat the whole time. Like it was so
it was
I
gorgeous.
thought it might have been like a hydration thing. I don't know, but like I wasn't like
It was
dehydrated.
also much cooler that day.
It was. That's what I'm saying. The weather was gorgeous.
It was so great. We
I
started.
was happy in all my pictures. Like, I got this. The only year I got good running photos was that year.
I mean, it was painful to wait, right? It was cold to wait, but then once
Oh
you got
yeah, the morning was
moving,
chilly,
it was
but it
like
was.
so beautiful.
Hmm.
Every year now, I go into that race going, please give me 2019 weather. Please give me 2019 weather every single year. And every year I'm like, why is it getting fucking hotter in November? Excuse my language, but like, why all of a sudden is it so hot?
Because they know
Every
Mike wants to wear a sweatshirt.
Yeah, freak.
I did bring one 2019 to the starting area.
Well, I
Oh no,
started that
no,
race
it was
in
no,
last
it, no, it was a
place.
sweatshirt, and I had brought an old sheet. I saw someone say bring like an old bed sheet that you were planning on getting rid of.
Mhm,
Then you could
mhm.
sit on it and wrap it around you at the same time. You don't
That's
sit in the mud.
smart. Very smart.
I remember
But
doing
even
that.
last year for the marathon, the whole time I was running the marathon, I was going, okay, but it's not 2022. It's not 2022 because it was still so hot, even though,
Yeah, I remember it was a warm day.
it was a very warm day. I hope we don't experience that again.
'Cause we were in I was at a wedding that day. That's why I didn't do it that year.
Mm,
I had a
yeah.
wedding coming. I'm like, I might as well just defer it like
Yeah.
next year. And then I'm like,
That's why I didn't run in 2018 or 19. I got married in 2018, and my best friend got married in 2019 in Atlanta. And then I
your wedding was the
flew.
night. Your wedding was the night before the marathon.
My wedding was like a week before the marathon.
No,
Okay.
Oh,
your friend's
Jen's.
wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the. I'm like, remember you in that wedding, and then the next morning you flew in and you
Yep.
met us around. You came to spectate and you met them around
Yup.
mile 22 or something.
Found Mike
Really?
on. Yep.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
literally
so
flew
I
in from
remember I was
Atlanta.
just turning into Central Park, and Jude's like, "Yeah, we're on the left over here," and I'm like, "Oh, Kelly's there."
Oh my God, Kelly, that's commitment.
Like I knew she had said she was coming,
Well,
so I knew she was going to be there, but I was like, oh, maybe she couldn't make it in time. I don't know. She was texting me updates. She was texting me for updates throughout the entire race.
the whole
I saw
thing
her. I go,
was that I had talked Mike into doing that marathon.
oh
Like,
yeah,
Katie,
yeah.
have we told you this story?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So for the people in this is 2019, right? So I guess it was in 2018.
2018.
I was in Manhattan with two of my girlfriends, and we were seeing a show, and we went to Bottomless Brunch. And when we were at Bottomless Brunch, we put in for Broadway Lottery for that night because we were doing like a matinee show. And we won tickets to see Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville.
No way.
And I messaged Mike and said, Mike, what are you doing tonight? Come meet me in the city. We're going to see Margaritaville. To which Mike promptly hopped on a train and met a very drunk Kelly at Barcade.
Hmm.
Where the very drunk Kelly proceeded Mike to shake her hand and agree to run the New York City Marathon together in 2019.
There's a photo of
It's a photo. And then Mike
yep.
got just as drunk as Kelly, and we ate dollar pizza and we went to Margaritaville.
Oh my God.
Yep.
So
And that's the story of how I started running marathons.
yes, and then Jen got engaged and picked a wedding date, and it was the night before the marathon, and there was no way I could go from the wedding to the marathon. I had to be like, "Hi, Mike, remember that marathon that you signed up for? I actually can't go."
Remember that marathon? You're doing it yourself.
Oh my
By the
God.
way, so I had to get there at least to spectate.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's
Okay.
Kelly's MO.
I am
Get everyone to
going
sign up for
to.
marathons with her and then dip. Hey guys, you want to sign up for Berlin? Oh, that'd be so much fun. Oh,
Okay,
guys,
in my
oh my God, we
defense-
got into Berlin. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh wait, oopsie.
And the
I'm having
best
a baby
about that is
before the
that
race.
when the best part is like when you guys signed up for that, Kelly somehow was set up to run every race on planet
I
Earth.
was signed up for
And
New
I
York,
was-
Chicago, and Berlin.
Oh my
that
God. And
fall.
I was like, okay, so she's gonna be pregnant soon because that's just how it works. Like once you're stacked with goals,
Yeah.
your body's like, nope, not this year.
In my defense, before we put in for the Berlin lottery, I did like put like a little asterisk and said like, I might be pregnant and I'm gonna bail if I am. And Otto would have been born by then.
Remember that little asterisk? Let's refer back to the addendum.
Let's talk about this fine print in the contract. Okay,
That's
guys.
the contract that says if I'm pregnant, I don't have to run a marathon.
Casual. Okay, I'm going to start wrapping us up. I want to get a goal from each of you guys for Chicago.
Oh my God.
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be time. It could just be leave the East Coast for the first time in 20 years.
How sad does that sound?
It's not sad. That's a big thing.
I have no, as of today, I'm not saying never, but
Okay.
I have no finish time goal. I'm sure I will eventually.
Okay.
right now it's about getting out of my comfort zone and just going somewhere else, meeting some of my friends that I've met online that I can't wait to meet in real life, and just
Mhm.
like having fun and experiencing something outside of New York.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Right.
So I kind of have a time goal, and I always hate telling Kelly my time goals because then she's like, then she holds me to them.
Yeah, I'll make him speed train all summer.
So my current best time was at 5:55 from the hottest marathon I've ever run. So I
Oh,
don't know how that
yeah.
even happened. So ideally I want to take 10 minutes off that, which I know
Awesome.
doesn't sound like a lot, but like if I could do it in 5:45, that's what I think I can do that. I think I can do that. That's my
You
goal. Is
can do
I think you
that.
can do that.
100%.
Ugh.
And also to piggyback on that, I have another goal to work on more strength training for this marathon because I
Hell
feel like
yeah.
even just the 2 or 3 weeks I've been doing right now, and even
Mhm,
the small amount of runs I've been doing, I'm
mhm,
feeling stronger on the runs.
mhm.
So who knew?
Who knew? Who knew? Like
So
Wow.
everyone in the world, except for
except for me, who
except for
Oh
us
man.
who just runs to get medals. Like that's
Yeah.
fine.
You just gotta, the trick is to run with the medals. It's then your strength training while you're running.
Exactly. What
We're
about you, Cal?
I just want to get to the start line healthy. I want to be strong and uninjured and actually commit to all of my training. I want to hit 90% of my training runs in this course. I'm not going to say 100 because life happens, but I want to commit and stick to my training plan as much as I can because already this year I've signed up for 2 half marathons that I DNS'd, did not start. And
Hmm.
I freaking stressed about it. Um, so I want to make it to the start, you know?
Yeah,
We'll get you there.
Yeah.
you're getting there. Don't worry.
Okay, Zoom is going to kick us off in 3 minutes and 51 seconds, guys.
All right, guys. This was so fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Yes, at the very least, we're holding each other accountable. Every week we'll check in and see what goal we want to do. Maybe we could do weekly goals. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I mean, we all start what? Monday? Are you guys officially starting tomorrow?
Yeah, we're gonna do a few miles tomorrow.
I started on this Monday just so that I had a few extra weeks built in so that if I need to repeat a week or any of
Right.
those
Okay.
things.
All right. I
Yeah.
officially start Monday, so I guess I'll see you guys next weekend for a first week recap.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, bye.
Night.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Good night.